Tonight, outrage across the Bay Area as President Trump decides to end DACA as promised, leaving hundreds of thousands of dreamers open to deportation. Hello and welcome. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. The program protects undocumented immigrants who came here as children. But unless Congress takes action, it will all be over. The president tweeting tonight, quote, Congress now has 6 months to legalize DACA, something the Obama administration was unable to do. If they can't, I will revisit this issue. Tonight, it is unclear exactly what he means by all that, but dreamers and their supporters aren't waiting around to find out. They are demanding action now. Night Beat's Andria Borba begins our team coverage tonight. Andria?
California is home to more dreamers, as they're called, than anywhere else in the United States. Here in the Bay Area tonight, hundreds took to the streets in protest. Outside the federal building at 7th and Mission, a crowd of more than 1,000 was angry and loud. At this announcement from the Trump administration about the end of DACA.
The policy was implemented unilaterally to great controversy and legal concern after Congress rejected legislative proposals to extend similar benefits on numerous occasions to this same group of illegal aliens.
The anger of the protesters blocking traffic in Soma was palpable, and for some, like Ubaldo Campos, the announcement was a sobering reality.
I just feel like I got played, like I came here when I was 2 years old. I had no say, I was 2 years old, and then they just want me to leave this country. I'm more American than Mexican.
The Daly City resident is unsure of what his future holds.
I feel like at any moment, if the laws keep changing, they might just be like, all right, everyone that was a DACA recipient, they're gonna get deported. And they know where I live, they know my family lives, they have all my information.
It wasn't just undocumented immigrants holding court in the streets of San Francisco, but those who love them, like Karina Barnett Loro.
For a lot of people, it's these big numbers of undocumented immigrants, but each of those numbers is a person, it's a friend, it's a colleague, it's a family member. It's a lot of the people here in this crowd, and I think it's always really important to remember that, these policies affect real people.
After marching to City Hall, all eyes turned toward Capitol Hill and Congress to codify DACA into law, and not just executive order.
I feel like if they all get together and they hear us out and we make a loud enough statement, they can't go ahead and fix this for us.
Now, at the moment, Congress is the last stop for this, with a deadline of March 5th looming for definitive congressional action. On the Night Beat, I'm Andria Borba.
Well, then President Obama implemented Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, in 2012. And today, he called President Trump's decision to end it, quote, self-defeating and cruel. He said kicking them out won't lower the unemployment rate or lighten anyone's taxes or raise anybody's wages. Tonight, tech leaders are showing their support for DACA. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg saying, quote, the young people covered by DACA are our friends and neighbors. They contribute to our communities and to the economy. They don't deserve to live in fear. In an email to Apple employees, CEO Tim Cook wrote, quote, I'm deeply dismayed that 800,000 Americans, including more than 250 of our Apple coworkers, may soon find themselves cast out of the only country they've ever called home. And now Microsoft is vowing to fight for Dreamer employees, saying it will provide and pay for their legal counsel. Night Beat's Betty Yu now continues our coverage from Santa Clara County, where local leaders are vowing to defend DACA recipients even if the protection program ends.
There are more than 200,000 DACA recipients in the state of California and 24,000 here in Santa Clara County alone. Tonight, Dreamer or not, dozens came out to show support and defend DACA. Drivers passing by Gateway Park this evening made their support loud and clear, while Dreamers and supporters carried candles and signs to protest the end of DACA. 24-year-old Nancy Arosio is a Dreamer.
We're not going anywhere. This is my country. I wasn't born here, but I grew up here. I'm American by heart.
Her parents brought her here from Mexico when she was 11 months old. The Santa Clara University graduate works as an immigration legal representative.
We will prevail!
The crowd marched towards City Hall this evening. Santa Clara County and nearby San Jose are exploring their legal options that could be taken. In the meantime, the county will champion legislation that protects dreamers and also offers services like legal workshops.
I urge every dreamer out there affected by today's decision to remain resilient and hopeful.
Here in the city of San Jose, we're going to look at every potential action we can take, including a lawsuit against this administration.
I teach at Stanford, and I see all my students as contributing to this world with whatever talents they have, and I don't care what their status is, and I think that's the attitude that we need to have towards everyone in this country.
On the Night Beat, I'm Betty Yu.
Tonight, California's Attorney General says the Trump administration violated federal law and he is prepared to sue. Javier Becerra adds, quote, President Trump has turned his back on hundreds of thousands of children and young Americans who came forward and put their trust in our government. One Bay Area man has spent the past 7 years living his dream because of DACA. Our Joe Vazquez first met him when he was a junior in high school and Congress was trying to pass the DREAM Act. And tonight, Joe revisits Ricky.
We first met Ricky back in 2010 when he was 16.
I just wanted to make it to college. That's my dream.
Undocumented, an A student in Oakland.
This last GPA that I have was a 4.13, so I'm taking 2 AP classes.
Ricky's family brought him over from Mexico when he was 10. He says he wanted to go to college to give back to his father, who worked so hard.
He has 2 jobs. He works 15 hours a day. I do not have my mom. I lost her 5 years ago. So it's just been a constant struggle.
We caught up with Ricky again today. 7 years later, he is a graduate of UC Santa Cruz with a degree in ethnic studies. He is working in the Oakland School District as a middle school college and career readiness advisor. He recently helped his father buy a home.
Now that I graduated, I'm able to work, able to provide some financial stability. We were finally able to get a house where we all have a room. And that is, huge for us because we've been struggling with housing for a long time.
But the Attorney General's announcement today was crushing news.
It was really sad and heartbreaking, and man, I cried. I definitely cried in the office upstairs where I work for like 20 minutes, and I try to get myself back up, try to, keep composure.
Ricky says he has reapplied for DACA, which could end up extending his work permit a couple more years. If it's not approved, he says he could lose his job in the next few months. As he waits, he says he finds himself talking to young students who are in a similar situation. He tells them to have hope.
To keep on fighting. I know it seems like we've taken 10 steps back. With the community involvement, I think, we'll come up with a solution, definitely. We'll keep on fighting.
On the Night Beat, I'm Joe Vazquez.